Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Golden Jailene. Welcome back to my channel. So I was studying abroad in Greece for 2 weeks, so I didn't post for about 3 weeks, but I was saving all these things to talk about for this video specifically. Just because there are so many releases. I feel like brands are just vomiting products. The first one is something I'm actually gonna purchase eventually when I want to spend money. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dream Glow Kit. Initially when I saw this, I didn't think I was gonna purchase it. I thought, hey, maybe I shouldn't purchase this because maybe they'll be too dark for me. But then I saw some swatches and it's beautiful. Angelica, I'll put a picture of her right here and I'll also link her down below. She wore a color from this palette on her face and it didn't look like ridiculously dark on her, and she's very fair. I really want this palette. I love the Anastasia Glow Kit. I have the Moonchild and Aurora. I am going to be buying that when I think it's worth spending money. Because I go through these phases where I'll spend a lot of money and then I tell myself, girl, you need to start saving your money. Pretty much every single brand has come out with an eyeshadow palette. Now the first one I'm going to talk about is the Jeffree Star Thirsty palette. I really want to buy this palette as well. Now I've never bought a Jeffree Star product just because a lot of the products that he comes out with are not my cup of tea. The yellow, the 4 like orangey reddish shades at the top, the gold, a lot of these colors really call my name, but at the same time I hate silver. I don't really wear bronze or brown. The only times I wear brown for my transition. So you know what, that one's actually gonna go on the maybe list. Next we have the Milani Gilded Desires Eye and Face palette. This palette reminds me of pretty much every single warm palette out there. It reminds me of the Tarte Be a Mermaid and Make Waves palette. It reminds me of some of the shades in the Modern Renaissance palette, the Soft Glam palette. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it's so late to the game. I already have it. I've already seen it. Like, I don't need this palette. For people who don't want to spend a bunch of money, this is a great affordable option. So next we have the Kat Von D 10-year anniversary collection, and I actually saw this. I'm not buying anything in this entire collection. Sorry if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my phone. The palette is beautiful. It has an entire rainbow. This palette costs $52, and I have to be quite honest, the only palette that I like by Kat Von D is this one right here. This is the Divine palette, and I just recently got this. I feel like the quality in this is amazing. It's very consistent. Another palette that I liked but I wasn't able to get my hands on was, I think it's called the Pastel Goth palette. Her formula for eyeshadows is just really hit or miss. This was one of the first high-end palettes that I owned. There were 12 shades in this and I only like 4 of them. This is one of the most pathetic golds I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't know if it's just my palette, but there you go. You see that little hints of light right there? That's the gold. I kind of feel the same way about the Shade and Light eye palette that I have. Some of the shades are amazing and they blend beautifully. Some of the other shades are patchy, and I heard the same with the Saint and Sinner palette. I don't want to risk paying $52 on a palette that is only going to be subpar. The rest of these things, like, they're gorgeous because I love gold. My name isn't Golden Jailene for nothing. But a lot of these things are just super expensive. Like the brush set is $125. The only thing I would purchase is the tattoo liner. I actually swatched the highlighter, the Metal Crush highlighter. That highlighter is awful. It looks white, but when you swatch it, it's this beautiful gold shift, but it's straight up glitter. It's not a good highlight. The formula does not look good. It's also chunky and flaky, so I'm sorry, that's a hard pass for me. That's enough with Kat Von D. We're moving on. On a more positive note, we're gonna talk about something I really want to buy. This is the Dominique Cosmetics Lemonade palette. And a lot of people are saying this is just a simple palette with a pop of color here and there. No, I think this palette is gorgeous and I'm super excited for this one. I think this palette is gonna do great. I'm gonna pass on the glosses just because I don't wear gloss that often, so yeah, that one's a pass for me, but the glosses are beautiful. Next is another item that I really want. This is the Violet Voss Flamingo eyeshadow palette. This is the type of palette that I want. Like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I'm so tired of the neutrals with the pop of blue, or the neutrals with the pop of green, or the neutrals with the pop of purple. I've had it with that. I don't want the face palette. I mean, it looks pretty. I just have so many highlighters. I don't need any more blushes, and I'm not the biggest fan of trying new bronzers or contour powders. I'm gonna pass on that, but I think I'm gonna be purchasing the eyeshadow palette. Next we have the MAC Cosmetics, is this a Sweet collection? The Oh Sweet lip color glosses. I would never wear these. The packaging is cute, but it's also kind of, I don't want to use the word childish, but like it looks like it's children's makeup. I actually thought these were ColourPop glosses when I saw this picture, so that's a no. So next we have the ColourPop eyeshadow palette in Make Up Your Mind. Yeah, I'm making up my mind, ColourPop, and I'm not buying that. I feel like in the creation room or like the makeup ideas room, there were 7 people. The person in charge said to the other 6, I want you guys to write your favorite color on a sheet of paper and then I'll collect them. And then he took the 6 colors and then he was like, or she, let's make a palette out of these colors. This arrangement is so random. A purple, a blue, a yellow, a silver. What is that? Like a purpley brown and a copper. No, that is so who would? Next we have the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Setting Powders. Now I actually want one of these. I think I'll definitely buy these. I love loose powders. I love using them all over my face. I love using them under my eyes, on my nose, like literally everywhere. I'm gonna wait for people to review these because it is Huda Beauty and Huda Beauty is kind of overpriced in my opinion. Now this next one was gonna be on my definitely yes I'm buying. I've changed my mind and it's not because of the controversy. This is the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe Volt. The reason why I'm not getting them is because the colors in these are just way too repetitive. I feel like in the Ring the Alarm palette, these 3 shades, those 2 right there, and then this one right here, they're so similar. The Ring the Alarm palette in general all look a lot like shades that are already in the Jaclyn Hill palette. Bling Boss to me is just not worth paying for because purple is the color in general that I like the least. If I do buy anything from this, it'll probably be the Dark Magic palette because I love blue eyeshadow and these colors look fantastic even though some of these are green, but I'm starting to like green eyeshadow as well. And the Armed and Gorgeous. So the next one's another eyeshadow palette. This is the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. That one is a no. I'm so tired of the neutrals with the pop of purple, the pop of blue, and this is a neutral palette with like 3 pops of purple, 2 pops of blue, and a pop of green. That's a definite no. I know it's 21 shades, only for $50, and the packaging is gorgeous, but I cannot be buying these palettes anymore. I'm wasting my money. Speaking of wasting my money, I'm also not buying the Lorac Pro 4 palette. Half of these shades would not show up on me. Half of these shades would not show up on like 75% of the population. I don't know what Lorac is thinking. They have 1 deep purple in there, and they choose that shade to represent the packaging. That's false advertising. With that outer packaging, it makes you think that the inside is gonna be like purple and like vampy and like smoky. Yeah, that's definitely a no for me. Next we have the ColourPop No Filter Foundation. I really want to try this just because it's affordable. I think ColourPop doesn't do returns. I think they only do returns if it's like broken or unopened. I would be very upset if I ordered like 3 shades and none of them matched me. So I think I'm gonna pass on that foundation. This is the Kylie Cosmetics Sorta Sweet palette. This looks just like the Soft Glam palette. Like I keep saying, what are brands thinking? People are tired of the neutrals. Where is the color? Speaking of neutrals, the Melt Cosmetics 27 palette. Don't get me wrong, I love me some warm eyeshadows, but I want something different. Like, I'm tired of it. I don't want to be spending more money on oranges and golds, and like, even though I wish I could have all the oranges and golds in the world, we need something new. I really like their Gemini palette. I actually might buy that. Even though it's limited edition, I don't know if I can even get it anymore. Actually, let's check the Melt website. Oh, it's out of stock. Of course it is. It's a gorgeous palette. Like, yeah, there's still neutrals in this, but I think that one is way better than the 27 palette. I feel like they went backwards with releasing the Gemini palette and then the 27 palette. Next, we're gonna talk about the Beauty Bakery highlighter palette. I think this is pretty, but this reminds me so much of the Anastasia, the Sun Dip palette. I feel like it's... Okay, now this lighting is not the best. I might just insert a picture. It looks like they took the Sun Dipped palette and they made their own version of it. This was like one of the first glow kits that Anastasia came out with. So next we have the Becca Cosmetics I don't know how to say her name. I'm so sorry. But the Chrissy and Becca collaboration, the design is gorgeous, but I don't think I'd ever wear this. I don't like shimmery bronzers. The only shimmery bronzers I have are the ones in the Tarte Contour 3 palette. And the only reason I like these is because the shimmer doesn't really show up. Next we have the Face Candy. I'm not really sure what it's called, but Face Candy is a brand you can get from Shop Hush. The reason why I'm not picking this up is because this is not Bad Habit. This is Face Candy, and I've heard mixed things about Face Candy. I've seen some people say, oh, this palette by Face Candy is one of the best things I've ever used. I've also seen a video where somebody said that it was the worst eyeshadow palette they had ever used in their entire life. It's definitely trying to dupe the Tarte April Fool's palette. Tarte is ridiculous. Tarte could have made bank off of that palette. So now we have the Lunar Beauty Life's a Drag palette. Y'all are gonna hate me for this, but I was so disappointed in this palette. When Manny was teasing the palette, he posted this picture with some shadows that were crushed up, and it was literally just powder and it looked like splatters of eyeshadow. I thought this was gonna be like a beautiful rainbow palette, and I know I shouldn't be expecting stuff like that because that's really not ideal in a palette, just having red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. That's what I expected, and him to have a few neutrals here and there, but more than half of the palette is neutrals that I already have. I would never use half of the palette or over half the palette because I already have those shades. Now maybe when I declutter palettes I will buy this because this is a beautiful palette, but I have way too many neutral colors, so that's a no. Next we have the Too Faced, what is this even called? Too Faced 1998? I'm honestly not really sure, but it's the palette that has a top row with like 1998 colors, and then the bottom row has 2018 colors. I don't need these colors, especially because a lot of them are duplicates in other Too Faced palettes that I have. Too Faced likes to have those glitter infused shadows that are garbage, and I don't want to buy this palette if it's gonna have those shades. Even if it didn't have the glitter infused colors, I probably still won't buy this because a lot of these shades are shades I already have. You guys are seeing a pattern here. Now to end this video on a positive note, I want to talk about 3 things that I'm actually really interested in purchasing. First one is the MAC, and is this Patrick Star? Yes, Patrick Star. I specifically really want the Hot and Heavy face powder. They call them face powders, but they're definitely highlighters. It just looks super beautiful. I just really love gold highlights, so I actually really want to check that one out. Next is another MAC product, and this is the Fix Plus matte. I love MAC Fix Plus. I have the original, I have the gold, the coconut, the rose, the gold light, and pink light. I don't like the lavender scent, but I kind of want it just because it's Fix Plus. But they have a matte one now, and I really want to try that. Fix Plus is definitely my favorite setting spray. Even though this isn't considered a setting spray, I definitely want to buy that. Like, I will buy that. I really hope that's permanent. Now, this last thing I want to talk about, it's not old, but it's not new either. This is the Smashbox and Flada. What really called my name were the highlighters. The one that I want is Gilded Rose. I think that's a beautiful highlighter. I actually swatched it in Sephora, but unfortunately they didn't have it. So I'm gonna wait until it's back in stock in store, if it is ever back in stock in store. The reason why I don't want to order it online is because if it comes broken, I can't get a new one. The Sephora I have here is in a JCPenney. I don't know if the JCPenney Sephora that I have has enough stock. Alright guys, I know that this was a super long video, but there have just been so many new releases and I felt like I had to talk about them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!